So this is Lucy, my bearded dragon. I'm going to show you a little bit more of the cage here in a second, but I thought I would go ahead and update this little lady first before we get into this bio bubble review. Lucy, I picked up, actually my mother picked him up for me for my birthday last year in 2015. You can see the size of her. This cage is gonna only house her for a little while. I'm actually just trying it out for a little bit. Most likely gonna put a couple leopard geckos in here in the future. It's perfect for them. But she's a good animal to test it out on as she eats some of her vegetables. This girl's been eating pretty well. She does like the salads, and she gets super worms for our snacks. And she drinks. She loves to drink from the bottle. This is like her favorite thing in the world. She loves to drink basically just right off her nose. I usually just spray her down like that, and I'll spray an enclosure and she'll just drink off of everything in there. She's really super easy to take care of. Really happy I got this girl. It's just been a long time since I've been wanting a bearded dragon. Couldn't ask for a better one. She's actually out of her cage and she is in. She'll be upgraded to a nice exo terrier in the future. When I first got her, it took a little while to get her to start eating her salads. And she loves collard greens. She also likes lettuce, but she's not a big eater. You see, she'll eat a little bit and then she'll take back off and get back up on this log here, and she loves to bask. And when she's not basking, she'll get down on this log up front, and when she gets down there, she usually gets impatient, wants to come out, so I grab her out of there. If I'm at home, I'm watching television, you know, I'm just sitting around lounging, she's always out. She loves to be pet and handled. She loves just basically not being in her cage. Only time she's really in here is when she's just wanting to bask for a little bit of rest, take a little nap. But if we're home, she's out. So she's been really awesome. But let's get into the review of this bio bubble. This was given to me as a gift from my sister-in-law for the holidays last year, and when I opened up the package, I didn't really know what this was at first. I thought it was kind of like a fish tank or whatever. I'm always a little weary when I see pictures like this of the animals that you can house in these types of things, because putting a chameleon in here, I don't know about that. I think it's perfect for leopard geckos. I wouldn't put my fire belly toads in there. As you can see, there's one on there. Maybe if you got a really small turtle, it's not really big enough to house anything other than maybe a small baby, at least this size. I haven't gone online and looked at any other bio bubble terrarium habitats that they sell here. This is the only one I've ever seen, basically, of this type. I've seen bigger ones that are not so not round and everything. They're kind of they're a little more of your basic exoterra type thing, but it's just more of a modern looking piece of housing that you would put maybe if you have a small apartment or something like that. These are great for that. So when I opened up the package, I really didn't know if I was going to be able to use it on anything other than maybe a couple leopard geckos, which in the future I will. If I didn't have the bearded dragon, there'd definitely be some leopard geckos in here. Probably all 4 of my babies I'm going to stick in here, and right now they're hanging out down here. Now if you see my other vids, you know that I have a reptile room that I built in my basement, but I can't keep my babies down there because they need a lot of maintenance and I have to observe them. And I only go down to my reptile room for maybe a couple hours a day to check on my animals. So it's been easier to keep them up here. And the bearded dragon, like I said, she's a social animal, so I don't want to keep her down there in the reptile room. It's mostly dark in there. I rarely turn the lights on down there except when I'm working. So, and animals love that. They love that it's dark. And there is some natural light coming in, but it's pretty dark most of the time. Lucy here would hate it if I had her down there. So, as you can see, we just take a look at this bubble here. One great feature about this thing is the rounded structure of it. I like the fact that it's rounded. It just adds a little bit more of a dimension to it. It makes it look a lot bigger than it actually is. If this was square, it would be teeny tiny. But the fact that it's round and you can extend the top, I like the fact that the the lights can sit right on top of there. She gets all her lights. They're all set on timers. I won't bore you guys with that. You know how lights go. Just look up lighting for bearded dragons, and if you're into watching this for bearded dragon care, just go and watch that. This is not a bearded dragon care video, so I don't want to get into what all the lights are. They're just your typical, your basking lights, UV, that type of thing. Set on timers. She loves it. Basically, it took some tweaking. It's based on her schedule alone. After I kind of figured out how she was. What I like about it though, the bottom of this thing is actually deep. This is a whole bag of sand that I had to pour in here because it's deeper than what it looks like. It actually does go all the way down. She did have a little bit of problem with her finding her food, but one of the things I love about bearded dragons is that they adapt. They're so smart. Once you get a routine set with them, they adapt very well. And she had a rough about a week and a half. She wasn't eating properly, but she was just adapting, and getting used to me. But it didn't take long. After about a week, she really settled in, and as long as she's got what she needs, and I figured out what she needed, and she didn't want as much plants, which I had in there before. She loves to just be up high, chilling near the lights, and she comes down here on this log right here, and if she's not on this log, she's out the door. She does have a companion, which is my cockatiel. He's right here. He's sleeping right now. I keep him quiet during the day because he gets extremely loud, so you wouldn't be able to watch this video right now if I actually lift that curtain up, and I'll give an update on my cockatiel some other time. But I would have to say I'm actually pleasantly surprised with this bio bubble. I thought I knew I could use it, but I didn't know I would actually like it. I love the doors on them. They do have locks, which I haven't put on them yet. But this, it works pretty well. The only thing I didn't like about it was the construction of it. You do have to put it together, and putting it together was a little bit of a pain in the ass because you had to slide down this plastic. This is not glass, this is plastic, which is another thing that I don't like about it. As you can see here, you can kind of see here all the scratches that she's put on it when she's telling me to get out. When she wants to get out, it looks like she's escaping from a prison. I mean, this is insane, and all she wants to do is just literally get out and get on my shoulders. So that's all scratched up. It comes off a little bit, but that's probably one of the features I don't like about it. Another feature I do like about it is that you can put a really cool backdrop. This is actually, those two backdrops back there are just basic stuff you get from a store, but it just slides in and fits perfectly. It's actually taped onto the back, so it's not actually in the enclosures. On the outside of the plastic window back there, and just wraps all the way around. There's actually two that I combined. I kind of cut it funny. If you look right in the middle over her log and her tail there, it's actually spliced. I just kind of cut it funny so it'll actually blend a little bit better, but it's actually two different pictures. And ever since I put that up, she really has liked it. I gave this thing a redo a little while ago, and she's been loving it in here. Alright, let's take a look at Lucy here. Like I said, Lucy is a very, very good little bearded dragon. She's very beautiful. She has some really nice colors to her. She's about to go in the shed again, but when she's not in shed, she has some beautiful, beautiful coloration on her. All down her back is a really brilliant yellow and gold, and her eyes are cool. The camera isn't picking it up right now, but they're like copper, and it's just really cool to own something different lizard-wise than my leopard geckos, because I never thought I would have a chance to get one of these, because I knew I would be very specific about which one that I wanted. As far as I wanted one that would be able to come out and be social. So it took me a while, and the moment I first picked her up, I knew she was the one. I knew she was the bearded dragon for me, because she is so sweet, it's ridiculous, and she's just so calm and loving, and she's almost like having a cat. It's on that level. But like I said, she's haven't had any problems out of her at all, and she's a good pet to try out that bio bubble with, because she's she knows what she wants and what she likes, and she'll let me know if that bubble wasn't working for her. She'll let her know, but she actually likes it. So if she likes it, because she's very picky, I knew that I'd like it. So she kind of endorsed it. So it's more of her review than it is of mine. She kind of let me know, yeah, the cage will work, and it'd be perfect for my leopard geckos in the future. Obviously, she's gonna get way too big for the enclosure, but it's just perfect for her right now. And she's letting me know everything I need to know about that enclosure. One of the things that she doesn't like, though, is the temperature probe that I put in there. She will not let me check the temps when she's in there. She'll go ape shit. She'll bite the hell out of it, and she'll make sure real quick that she doesn't want that in there. But outside of that, I mean, because I have to take her out every time I want to check the heat in there for her. The bio bubble does keep the heat relatively well. It's not the greatest. That's one drawback to it. I wish it would maintain a little bit more heat. But it's, you know, again, I mean, if your room, it depends on what you're housing in it. And if your house is comfortable, they should be comfortable. But she doesn't like it overly hot as well. If it gets too hot in there, she'll freak out and want to get out, or she wants to be misted down. So I actually don't have to keep it as hot as some other people's bearded dragons that I know have them. She's actually she really doesn't like too much warmth. She seems to do really well when it gets a little cooler at night, and I've kind of adjusted her lights to that. So I'd have to say, on you know, if I had to give it a grade, I would give it a B. I mean, it's not the greatest thing in the world. We obviously know there's better things suited for it. But if you have a small space and you maybe you have a kid or someone like that, even if you're in college, you just want something simple to put something in. Like I said, a bearded dragon, well, being here temporarily, you won't be able to keep them their whole lives in here. But I guess if you can make it work with a turtle or fire-belly toads like it displays, I guess you could do that. I wouldn't do it. But like I said, she does well in here, and I don't dislike it. It is oddly shaped, so you won't be able to stick it in. You know, it would have to have its own table. I keep mine on this stand that came with one of my my 20-gallon tank that someone gave to me. People are always giving me tanks and things. Some of them I can use, some of them I can't. But this stand is awesome. You know, it has a rack on the bottom, so you can stick something down there. And since this thing is so oddly shaped, you have to be careful where you put it, because it's, you know, you can't stick anything around it really. It's just kind of gonna have to be in its own little spot, which takes up more room if you got to put a stand and only have, you know, this on top. That's probably a drawback. So like I said, it's not for somebody really who's gonna keep like many of these. I would get like maybe one or two and be done, because it does take up a lot of space because it's so oddly shaped. So that's another drawback. But other than that, it is a good piece. I think it's perfect for something like upstairs. Like I said, her and these 4 baby leopard geckos are only one of my exotic pets that I keep upstairs. All the rest of them are downstairs in my reptile room. So this is actually perfect for up here. It's not an eyesore. It actually blends in with, like, you know, it kind of blends in with your house, because it kind of just looks like something you would, you know, put in your house. It doesn't look like something you see in the zoo, but at the same time, it sticks out enough where you can, it's just kind of people gravitate towards it because it does have a presence to it. So I kind of like that about it, and it, you know, the lighting, because it's so round, just looks cool with it. You know, I love the way you can light it and how it looks. There's a lot of pluses to it, but like I said, I'll give it a B. So if you see one, I don't know the prices on these. I did not try to go and look online and see how much they cost. Like I said, this was a gift. But if you're going to spend money on something and you really want to get something, that's more fitted for something like this, I always recommend going with the Extra Terra tank, which she'll be going in the future up here. So maybe about a couple more months in here, depending on her growth rate, and then she'll be out of here. Well, but like I said, I can't complain about it at all. It's actually a nice little thing. I do not have this dome that's on top put on mine, because I have another strip that I use in the front here, this Zilla strip. And this, like I said, all these on timers, and they kind of shut on and off throughout the day. So I haven't used that at all, but that's a nice little touch. But you can see it's obviously look like something from outer space. So it's not really something you're going to be putting in with like your other stuff. I think it looks really cool as a centerpiece, and it's definitely good if you have like programs or shows that you want to take up a classroom, something like that. This is perfect for like a classroom, for a teacher, or for a retirement facility, anything like that. This is good because of the doors, the way it's set up. It's very accessible, it's very easy, and it's easy to get your animal in and out. So that part of it I do recommend. So that's the bio bubble and terrarium habitat, and that's just my review on it. I give it a B. If you are not as crazy as some of the people that I know, like, you know, with some of our setups, this would be an A for you. If you have like one animal and you want to stick it in there for a while, like, you know, it would be an A. But I have to give it a B because I'm comparing it to what I would get, which is an extra Terra. So I would always say, you know, if you have the money, because I don't know how much this costs. If it's pretty expensive, go ahead and get yourself an extra Terra. But this makes good gifts. I would gift this to someone else. So and they can figure out what they want to do with it. So, but that's my review of it, and that's the bio bubble. And we'll say goodbye to Lucy, and I will keep everybody updated on this lady as she continues to grow. She's an awesome pet. I'll be doing some future videos on her, no doubt. And pretty much every time you see me in a video, she'll probably be hanging around somewhere because she just is absolutely in love with me, and I don't mind that at all. That's awesome. It's like owning a cat that lives in a cage. So thank you guys for watching this one. I'll talk to you guys next time. Be safe.